is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Slomin Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Slomin Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our grand bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rail. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rail can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ZDX. Only $459 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. Ownership, management, sponsors, or website. is final. TUA and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The post-game show is brought to you by Welton Rail, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins post-game show. Here's Big O.
Oh, baby! Yes. You know what I think? I think the Dolphins season just sucked even more. It reached points that it has never reached. We are at a Cameron type point right now. That was a king-size suck performance by everybody, which is great. This is fantastic. This is what we need. More implosions. See, if Stephen Ross wants to put this out there every day, right? I think I saw for a moment there on the chat board that somebody said, these players are stealing from Stephen Ross. Yeah, so? So what? So what? Stephen Ross is stealing from you. He steals your money. I mean, don't I buy this hat? Money goes to Stephen Ross, right? Stephen Ross is stealing from me. He steals my time. He steals my money. He steals my emotions. And in the end, he steals more money than all of you combined. Because he doesn't give you shit every year and you come back and cheer it on. You come back and buy season tickets. You come back and buy single game tickets. You come back and travel and go see the team. You go to training camp. You spend all your time. You spend money at training camp because you got to buy something to drink while you're there. Right? You're going to buy a shirt, a hat. You're going to buy something. You're going to spend money. You're going to spend gas. You're going to spend time. You're going to spend your money flying around stupid-ass banners. So don't forget that the biggest thief of them all is Stephen Ross, because the guy makes out like a bandit and he doesn't produce jack shit. So this is great that Tua throws 87 interceptions. This is fantastic that Mike McDaniel looks like a complete buffoon out there. By the way, let me ask you something about Mike McDaniel. Is there fucking porn on those cards? Because I've never seen a man, a grown-ass man, that stares at some. They're on defense, and he's staring at the cards. And I'm wondering, is there porn? Because that would bring my attention. If I'm, okay, porn, well, hey, this is a lot better than the damn game. I'm out there, okay, yeah. Well, I got to call in a play. Timeout. I just want to know what's in the cards. Is there some TV, 3D? What's going on? I mean, if there isn't porn, I'm not exactly sure because he spends a lot of time looking in those cards. He looks like me at 12 years old when I found a penthouse in the trash when I'm walking by. That's how it used to be back in the day, by the way. People would throw their trash by the telephone poles, all kinds of trash. Us kids were walking by, and there's penthouse and ooey. And here we are. You know, I'm sorry. I got to admit my childhood. Anyway, but that's my childhood, not adulthood. So I'm just wondering, is there porn on that? Because he's maybe that's why he has glasses. Listen, this is awesome. Okay? We've been through all kinds of shit seasons. We've been through all kinds of shit coaches. Okay? We've been through the Adam Gases and the Brian Flores, and we've been through the Cam Camerons, and we've been through the Jimmy Johnsons, and we've been through the Dave Wants. We've been through all kinds of clowns, and they're all clowns. Jimmy Johnson was a clown here. Absolute buffoon here, just so you'll know. Just because he found some players on defense, he was a buffoon here, okay? So this happens. This is what it is in the water. Nobody succeeds here. It doesn't matter who it is. This is kind of the way of the world. You know, it's sad, but that's kind of where we're at. But if we want to go through our next level of changes, which, you know, as I've told you already, they're both the GM and the head coach are gone. Okay? I told you last week that unless they win 8 or 9 games in the next 11, okay, they're both gone. All right? So when they'll let go of McDaniel, I don't know, but they'll either let go and move Greer in the offseason. That's already done. It's already set in stone pretty much. Okay? So you're going to get your next change wave is coming. But you know what's coming, right? Well, you know, new coaches, new systems. You got to get players. We need 2 to 3 years, yada, yada, yada. We got all this cap issues. We got to get TUA's contract off the books. So you've been through it before. You've been through all the different rebuilds from all the different coaches. So that's what is going. So you can go ahead and worry about the defense playing like shit today and all the stupid penalties. You can worry about Tua throwing a bunch of dumbass interceptions already at this point. You can worry about an offensive line that couldn't block, couldn't even stop a cold. You can worry about an invisible running game, tight ends never used. For a moment there, he threw it to Hill a couple times, but then, you know, whatever, no Waller. Like all of a sudden, Waller's on a milk carton somewhere. You know what I mean? So you can complain about a shitload of things, the kicker hitting the field goal post. You can complain about all kinds of crap that you want because everything contributed to the loss. But why even waste your time? Why waste your time? Why? Because you're still frustrated that you thought you actually had a decent season coming? This is going to be a shit season, but it's actually even worse than I even thought. I told you guys it was going to be a bad year. I didn't think it was going to be an embarrassing year. But here's what you need to know, okay? Instead of worried about the minutia, worry about the big stuff. Stephen Ross continues to prove that he doesn't care. So, Sean, do we hear anything? Any breaking news? You're following the wire for me here? Nothing going on? Okay, nothing. Nobody's getting fired. Nobody's paying the price. But you're paying the price. You're paying the price for the next home game. You're yes.
Kim Bocamper, who was doing a hit, I guess, from the for the news there, said that Ross and Garfinkel both walked by him, and they did not look too happy. And he was like, "I don't know what's going to happen." So far, only Bradley Chubb has been to the podium. The press conferences are still going.
Okay, there we go. All right, and Sean will stay on top of this big time because we got national guys, whatever. We'll probably get it before the local guys in the locker room anyways. So we'll find out if something happens, but that's your test. Stop going after the little men. Go after the big guy. Stop being cowards. And, by the way, stop being dumb. Everything under has nothing to do with it already. Just forget about it, bro. Forget about it. The quarterback ain't working here. The head coach ain't working here. The general manager ain't working here. The defensive coordinator ain't working here. Nobody is working here. They're going to clean house. I already told you this last week. So don't worry about all that stuff. You know what you got to do? You just got to laugh at this shit for the rest of the season. That's what I did in this game. I just was laughing at how pathetic this franchise is and how pathetic Stephen Ross is. That's where your focus must completely be, because you worry about the players and Stephen Ross is fleecing your ass. Every year, he never gives you a football team ever. He never gives you anything that's respectable. Once in a while, you'll get a flash in the pan, a moment, this, that. You'll hang on to the Miami Miracle, which is a pathetic play that has nothing to do with anything good. You'll hang on to the moment that you avoided 0-16, which has nothing to do with anything good. Who gives a shit if you're 1-15 or 0-16? Stop worrying about the minutia. Okay? Worry about the top guy. That's the guy you got to send your letters to. That's the guy you got to flood his emails. You know what? You know what I would respect, even though it'll never happen? I would respect more people saying Ross should sell. That's where it starts. Flood him with hate. Flood him with disrespect. Flood him with negativity. Show him that you disapprove of everything he stands for and does. Don't take it out on the minions. And that's what the front office, that's what the players, and that's what the coaches are. They're minions, they're pawns, they're bullshit. And so are you, by the way. And so am I. Just so you'll know, we're right there with them. Because he doesn't give a shit about the team. He doesn't give a shit about the fans. He doesn't give a shit about the media. Dude, he can put together anything, and we're all idiots, and we're back every year. So your disdain, your hate, okay, it has to be directed at only one person. Because if that person is Vinny Viola, the rest of the whole thing falls into place. Isn't that interesting? When you have the guy at the top or woman at the top or family at the top that knows what the hell they're doing, everybody else ends up knowing what the hell they're doing. But when the goofball at the top has no idea, this is the end result. So instead of wasting your time on a whole bunch of names that are just going to change, because that's all they've done for decades. It's the new GM. It's the new general manager. It's the new personnel director. It's the new college director of scouting. It's the new head coach. It's the new offensive coordinator. It's the new defensive coordinator. It's new players. It's the new QB. It's the new backup QB. It's the new running back. It's the new defensive end. It's the new tackle. And it all changes. And it just continues to go. And Laramie Tunsil will have better success in someplace else. And so will Larry Izzo, and he'll leave. And so will Mac Hollins, and he'll leave. And that's how it goes. And they all leave and go and have better places. Ryan Tannehill, who's as limited as they get, and he gets a scatterbrain in the middle of a pocket, he had more success in Tennessee than he ever had here. Everybody leaves and has a chance to have more success somewhere else, and it doesn't matter who you are. It would have been better to trade Marino in hindsight. Why? Because they couldn't compliment Marino here either, and he gave his entire career and his life for a franchise that doesn't know what to do. The question you all need to ask yourselves, as I mentioned in the pregame show slightly, and you can go listen to that entire breakdown, is don't worry about who the next quarterback is. Worry about a franchise that doesn't know how to compliment any quarterback it has. Because Tua will leave, thank God, and he'll have more success than he ever had here. Just like Ryan Tannehill, just like Marino would have had more success than anything. This is the franchise that passes up on Drew Brees, not one, but 2 times. This is the franchise. This is the franchise that wouldn't know what to do with a great quarterback if they ever ran into it. So go ahead. Go ahead. Everyone else, or on average, they'll leave from here and they'll just enjoy personally, team-wise, more success than they will here. Ask yourself why. Direct your hate. Direct your vile comments, direct your negativity, direct your stupid little planes to one guy and one guy only. because the names and the faces change, but the owner stays the same. That's where you need to focus. Stop picking on the minions. Stop fighting amongst yourselves about what player is better than the other. It doesn't matter if that guy is the owner. So either you show him why you dislike him a ton, or back off, because nothing changes. He doesn't care. So send it to the right person is what you need to do. Find it. Find a way to send him the message. Make his life miserable. That's what you people don't understand. Make the Ross family's life miserable. That's what you need to do. They own the team. They make you miserable. Why don't you make them miserable? Because they're sitting in their boxes. Oh, Ross came down and he didn't look happy. Who gives a shit? Ask the dude that's in section 105 that's been paying for him and 3 people for decades now and spent thousands and thousands of dollars and gets nothing in return. There is no ROI. You know, Ross, all he cares about is ROI. And boy, his ROI on that plant, on that piece of property just gets better and better every minute. He adds more things that make money. He gets a ton of ROI. You get jack shit. You get nothing for your season, for your red zone pass and your ticket and all the time that you spent watching. You get nothing for those of you that actually travel to some games. You get nothing for those of you that went to a couple of road games. You get nothing for those of you that painted your faces up and you went out there and you went all out and you got nothing, dude. And you spent a ton of time. There's a bunch of people that part of their identity is the Miami Dolphins. Do they ever get rewarded with anything that's associated with winning? No. Everything associated with that logo is about losing. Where do you get your returns? Nowhere, except you meet great people, because we got a bunch of great people as Dolphins. That's about it. Outside of that, the team gives you nothing for decades, dude. Decades. So the real thief here is the Ross family. That's the only one that's stealing money. Everybody else is misdirected because the guy at the top doesn't know what he's doing. So how can everybody else ever fall in line? That's all. That's where you need to direct your attention. Worry about the rest of the stuff. You want to talk about the defensive penalties today, or Tua's stupid-ass interceptions, or Mike McDaniel's play calling, or an offensive line that can't give a quarterback 2 seconds? Yeah, I'm past that already, dude. Who gives a shit? Like some guy told me, what if they lose today? I go, who cares, dude? 1-6 or 2-5, who cares? The season is done. You're not playing for anything. It's over. I mean, and it says it all. All you got to do is look at what's going on. You know, there are key decisions in a game. And when you make a key decision, well, we want to reward that. We like to give out our postseason's awards. And today, in a 31-6 loss, an embarrassing defeat, I mean, it was disgusting. We can easily find the Slomin's key decision of the game.
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Slomin's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Slomin's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Slomin's key decision of the game.
The key decision of the game goes to Stephen Ross, baby, because in the offseason, he gave Mike McDaniel an extension, yet he had defections everywhere. He knew there was a pollution inside his building and in his locker room, and still did not make the change. I know local media didn't talk about it, but we did on this show, and we pointed it out. but everybody else wanted to avoid it. Here we are, already into the season. You see, nobody believes in this clown, and he can't get results. The key decision of the game was that ROI, return on investment, baby. He said, well, we gave him the contract. Let's wait till the year, and then we'll fire him at some time during the season. Instead, he could have taken a hit to his ROI, fired Mike McDaniel without even starting his new contract, show some real balls like a real owner does, and say, you know what, folks, we need to go in another direction, and I realize that I made a mistake, and I'm not going to put my fans through this. But he doesn't give a shit about the fans. He doesn't give a shit about you. So he went along. I knew it was going to be a bad season. They knew in the building it was going to be a bad season because of the limited funds and what they were going to do. But of course, you know, some media, some fans, they always want to talk themselves into something. Media sometimes wants to talk you up to bring you down too. I know the game. I don't play it, but I know the game. So the key decision of the game was, of course, Stephen Ross making no decisions and keeping the status quo and keeping the pathetic nature of Dolphin football what it is under Mike McDaniel. Now, you can avoid being pathetic. You can actually call Slomin's, and you can also tell him, hey, you know, I need Shield Link because it's a hell of a lot better than the Dolphins' offensive line. And with Shield Link, you get, well, cutting-edge smart home automation. You can now adjust the thermostat. Need to get cool because you're really hot on the Dolphins. You can switch the lights on or off. You don't want anybody to know you're home. Turn them off because you're pissed off. You can check out the camera feeds because you may want to erase some of the stuff when you're throwing appliances all over the place. And you can even create automated routines all from a single dashboard. So Shield Link can help you be in control and also help you from thieves out there because that's really the important stuff. Stay in control there or the Dolphins. Don't lose it because of Stephen Ross, but be protected. Slomin's has been doing it. They've been protecting Americans for over 100 years. Protect yourself with Shield Link in 14 different states. Tell them that Big O sent you. And Stephen Ross, you, sir. Oh, there's no doubt about it. The key decision of the game, all made by you, moron, for keeping Mike McDaniel in place.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Slomin's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Slomin's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
All right. I mean, it's just, it's disgrace. It's disgraceful how they treat you guys. And then they expect you to come back and they expect you to take part in all their events and they want you to come to training camp and people go on the road. And dude, we went on 4 road trips last year. And I told Shot, nah. I'm not doing it anymore. I am going to start taking steps back. You know, and that's what I did. I knew it was going to be a shit season. You think I'm going to go to training camp and waste my time with these people? No, I can watch it from afar and I can do the same thing and I can know just as much and tell you what's going to happen before most everybody that's on there. So it doesn't really matter to me, dude. I've been at it long enough that I can see the bullshit through the bullshit. Okay, so to me, it doesn't matter. So as I told you, I had a great time this year not going to training camp. I will never go to training camp again until they're actually a good team. That they don't. It's time that the Dolphins earned my respect, earned my time. Okay, so it's enough that I got to watch your games, dude. I'm not going to go sweat and watch your stupid ass limited practices that show you nothing. By the way, you learn nothing. You know. I get it. The media that is there to cover and get paid, they got to try to justify. But I see through the bullshit. So I can tell you that what they're watching in training camp nowadays is absolutely bullshit to what was actually available to us 15, 25, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I wasn't in there, but I was up until 35 years ago. I'm sorry. So trust me, this is garbage what they watch. So you got to earn my fandom. You got to earn me to make an effort to cover you. There's no reason to cover you. And that's why I'm telling you, You need to direct your anger to the right person. There's no people in this one. Person. That's it. That's who you got to direct your anger to. Sean, let's go to some super chats here, man, because I know some people have sent in, and I really appreciate it. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, we love the super chats, but stinking YouTube takes 30% away, and we hate that. So Cash App or Venmo, we get 100%, and we always appreciate that. Let's get to this. You know what? Let me start with the Venmos real quick here. Let me get to it here. Here we go. Marcel Barrios, thank you for saying what we're all thinking of as Dolphins fans. Thank you, Marcel. I appreciate you on Venmo. Thank you. Joe Cracciola, thank you, my brother, very, very much for your generosity. Big O, I'm angry at myself for caring too much. I hate what has happened to this once proud franchise. Love the show. Thank you. And that's the disgusting part about all of this. And they pay no price for it. None, because we're super loyal. None whatsoever, and they know it, and they can take advantage. They knew it was going to be bad. Yes, sir.
Mike McDaniel did make it to the podium.
Yeah, I see it there. Mike McDaniel live at the podium. Disgusting. All right, brother. Thank you. Disgusting. And I don't really care what his stupid, stuttering ass has to say. Ray, thank you, my brother, with a GIF and everything. Flushing Incognito says, you know my opinion, but we don't deserve this crap. It's very upsetting and disappointing. MVP is Rose for being a dumbass. Ross, I mean, is what you mean. Yes, I agree. And thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Rob Erickson, the best part of this game for me was 1, my unexpected power nap. Nice. 2, playing with my son. Family first. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you. Peter German, Ross is like a parent that never disciplines his kids and keeps telling you how well behaved they are. Exactly. Right. Yes. 100%. Andrew Watson, sweet Jesus, is hot, steamy shit. And then we went to Quinn Sewers to top the toxic offensive plumbing. Like, I get it at the end already, but I don't even want young guys in this situation. I feel bad for him. We need a billionaire ownership group to wrestle this turd franchise away from boss hog Ross. Worst effing team ever. F TUA, F this Happy Meal McNugget team. Can't blame him. Peter German, Big O, what a sad day to be a Dolphins fan. I hope our tone-deaf owner finally gets the picture. Nothing good is coming from this coach or management team or owner. Owner. Nothing's good is coming from the owner. Okay? We keep focusing on the wrong thing. All has to be on Ross. Every time somebody screws up, it has to be pointed at Ross. Okay? I'm serious, dude. I am serious. Y'all need to direct your anger towards the Ross family. Okay? They need to feel it. They're the ones that own the team, and they do nothing about it. They don't care. And they constantly prove that they don't care. So you got to do something, man. You guys got to send your letters, your emails, nothing stupid, of course, but you know what I mean. You got to be aggressive, be creative, whatever. But maybe hit him where the only place that it's going to hurt him. I doubt it. I doubt anybody will ever pull their wallet out. That I don't ever see. Adam Pinkser, McDaniel managed to make Cameron look like a better coach. Fire him now, Ross. Love to see Napier and McD fired in the same 24-hour span. Well, you did get your Napier fire. Anthony Lizzie goes, Big O sending this early. Going to play golf with my son, not wasting my time with this shit. Ross doesn't care about us anyways, and you're right. Hateful Steve, Mr. Accurate threw the ball too high under no pressure, and that made it harder to catch. I'm tired of excuses for this guy. Not everything is his fault, but he absolutely regressed. Oh, yeah, I'm with you there. And, dude, I want him out. He's a failure here. He's not going to ever succeed here. Nobody ever succeeds here. So, that's, as you know, Steve, don't worry about it. The next quarterback we'll get will be great, and he'll have tons of success because everybody wins here. So, yeah, I'm with you. Bag on head. I'm leaving the house to go to the beach with the family. Second half just started. McDaniel needs to be gone before I get back. Great use of Waller today. That's a good one. And Brian Daughtry, thank you, sir. Or Doherty. Is it Doherty? He says, you knew it, bro. You knew the season was over before anyone. I think the local riders, some knew as well, but didn't have the balls. Much respect, bro. Blow it up and tank up. The problem with the riders is their editors won't allow them to do that. Oh, no, you can't say that the season is going to be terrible and whatever. They won't read us and all that. And I had people that tuned me out when I said it was going to be, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. Oh, you're a bad fan. No, I'm not. I'm a great fan. I love my team, but I'm going to be honest. Why am I going to lie to you, dude? That's disgusting. I'm going to lie to you about our team. Why? To keep you interested? How cheesy is that shit? That's cowardly, too. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And, of course, you can send your questions, comments, and insults, as you can see there. All right, let's start with the Super Chats, because I know there's a bunch. Edward Blasco, when is Ross getting rid of this piece of crap? I don't know, man. I don't know. We're all waiting. Maybe he'll wait till, they get back to Miami or something. They don't want to do it here. I don't know. It's a disgrace what the Ross family has done to this team. Next up. Manny J. Snow. This one is top 10 embarrassing performance of all time. Seriously, how do you not clean house now? It's time, Mr. Ross. I'm with you, Manny. I'm with you. This is a disgraceful thing. Next up. Man of 1,005 holds. Insult to injury and injuries to insult. Dylan outplayed Tua. Never thought that would happen. Clean house. And Mike stays in Cleveland. Dumpster fire. Yeah. Well, they had a running game. They stick to their running game. They actually throw to tight ends. They do stuff that actually would help your receiver a lot. It's just insane, bro. It is what it is. And I think here's another thing, by the way, I want to talk about. I want to get to the Super Chats because I could talk. Tua's done. Tua's done confidence-wise. He doesn't believe in McDaniel, in this scheme at all. He's not comfortable in anything going on here. You can tell that as a quarterback, and he's playing that way. And he's also now no longer playing to die on the field, brother. Those days are gone. He knows there's an out game now. He knows that he can shit the bed, just, hey, find a way out of here. And it doesn't matter anymore at this point. The season's over, and the last thing that Tua should do is sacrifice a damn thing. No player should sacrifice anything for this team or this franchise. Nobody. If you're kind of injured, bro, you're injured. Stay out. There's no reason for you to kill yourself for this team. So even if you're getting paid, because like I said at the beginning of this whole thing, no one is stealing more money than Ross. Understand this. No one, no player, no one, no coach, no one is stealing more money than Ross. So if I'm Tua, one, I've lost confidence. Two, I gotta play where I'm protecting myself. And you saw that throw from the middle of the end zone in the back end zone. When he saw that guy coming, he was like, he just threw it right in the face of the defense of the blitz. Bam. He had a guy that was on the lower half, went inside. If he goes outside, he might have had a shot at the ball. But again, this is quick. You gotta throw it, and you're throwing out a spot or whatever. But the last thing he was going to do was hold it to the last second and wait for somebody so he can throw it more accurate and take a hit. He was not gonna get smacked down, and I don't blame him. So you've got now that relationship where your quarterback has no confidence in himself, in this system anymore, and in that coach. And the entire team is kind of playing that way anyway. So is what it is, man. Hopefully they blow this crap up.
During Tua's press conference, he kept answering everything with operation. Mike McDaniel comes out and he says, we have found a different way to undo our games. If you are negatively affecting the football team, I have no choice but to assess a different player. We'll find out who and what we're made of. There's a divide going on, right, between Tua and McDaniel right now?
No, it's just I think it's just they don't believe in McDaniel. It's not there's all kinds of stuff going on there. It's not just Tua. Tua's the one that has to be, he's got it. He's the one that's got all the arrows coming at him. So he's got to answer it. He's got to take the heat for that. Not everybody else is going to be put in that position, but overall, it is what it is. Nobody has any faith in that. Look at that system. Look at that scheme, dude. Come on.
No, what I'm saying though is Tua's done with McDaniel is what I was trying to back up your point to what you're saying. There's nothing there. There's a divide. There's Tua and there's McDaniel. They're not together anymore. All this stuff about what he's done for his confidence and everything else, all that's out the door.
That's done, bro. That's done. That was actually more made up by the media than anything else. It was more about just he came onto the scene where he did some stuff that people had to adjust to quickly, and they did, and he had no counter after that, proving that he's not a coach. And he proves it every day the way he designs offenses and the way he calls it. And he has no credibility whatsoever. So to me, it doesn't matter, bro. Again, we're arguing silly shit. Doesn't really matter. None of these people matter. They're all gone. They're all going to change. They're all going to be gone. They're not going to keep Tua and the new coach, and they're going to adjust. And no, they're not going to do that. They'll want a clean house and all that. So for sure, McDaniel and Greer will be gone. And then they'll either move Tua sometime next year where they cut him, or I'm thinking, I just remembered this. They might be stuck in letting go Tua next year and take that huge cap hit and cut other people. You know why? You want to get Tua out of this season healthy. And then you want to get him into the offseason, and then maybe you pull that trigger where you just unload, because going into next year, if he starts to get injured, then guaranteed money the following season falls, and you just want to rip the Band-Aid off. And whoever you bring in, you're going to start new. So you're almost at a point soon where you'll let the other two guys kill themselves to finish off the season, and you save Tua so you don't get on the hook for anything else in the future, and you let him go. I think that's what may end up happening. Now that I think about it, that may be the future there, where they are willing to just absorb a ridiculous all-time world cap hit next year, and then obviously they're going to tear their team down to the bare minimum, and that'll be, really rough. Let's see. McDaniel asked about job security, says it's offensive to all parties involved to focus on anything other than coaching the team. Blah, blah, blah. Next up, Sean, let's go. Let's rip through these. Man of 1,005 holds. Tua needs to have a Tua-only meeting. I like that. I think he's having that all the time. Like, man, I got to get out of here. All right, next. John Wayne's 45. Big O, I love it. Fans that know this is great. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. That's very kind of you, man. And please smash the hell out of the like button, guys. We got a bunch of freaking people watching. Only got 300 likes. Let's go. We can get to 1,000. You guys realize that, right? Like, we can do something record-wise that Mike McDaniel could never do with his offense. We can run the table here and make that counter go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900, 1,000 right now. If you hit that like button, and it gets the algorithms going, it gets more people involved. Next up. Oh, what do you got?
Mike McDaniel also said in his press conference, players' frustrations prevented us from executing today.
Well, when they are coached by your dumbass, of course they're going to be frustrated. Why? I am sitting here 1,000 miles away, frustrated watching your stupid ass coach. Adam Carlson, I think the whole team has quit on Mike McDonough. Yeah, dude, the team knows the guy's a clown. I've been telling you since the offseason. People defected, left the building. People were already talking in the building like, how is this guy still our coach? How is this guy getting an extension? Next up. Andrew Carmen. Gonna keep defending Tua, you clown. Admit you're wrong. I'm wrong. I want Tua gone, and he'll go somewhere else. Thank God. Everybody succeeds here, bro. I know. Tua's the only failure here. Next up. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate the support. John Wayne's 45. Big O, at least we have Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. We got back over 109. I'm expecting a pump tomorrow with Bitcoin. Let me see where we're at right now. We are just right at 109, actually, 108,924. So, yeah, it's nice to see a little life in a Bitcoin. Next up, Leon Fresco, firing McD is stupid. Better to finish 1-16. I left Finn's fandom because I can't wait for 2028 for Finn's to maybe be good. Yeah, and that's, you know what, Leon? You joke about it, but that's the depressing part. You know, we're all headed to a new GM, a new head coach, and then they're going to, I don't know if they'll draft a quarterback this year or next year or what. I don't even know. I have no idea. But we're in for another one of those rebuilds, and will we have the right GM with the right head coach, and will the right head coach be able to build the staff, and or will he constantly have turnover, which will cause problems with the turnover in players? We've been through this a lot, man. Next up. It is Edward Thurston. How Mike McDaniel is reading how to be a head coach. The Dolphins are so predictable. Tua passes, players starting to get hurt. Exactly. It's disgusting. And it's a very predictable offense. And the fact that you can't get Waller involved shows me how pathetic of a coach you are. As I said on the show before, if Andy Reid's running offense, you think you're going to keep Waller out of it? Next up. Ozzie Fisher. Cam Cameron is the worst Dolphins coach ever. Mike McDaniel, hold my beer. Yeah. Pretty accurate. Thank you, my brother. Next up. It is Suds. Big O, I was doing the same. Just kept laughing at how bad we are. I will bring the brown paper bag to Spain to wear. LOL. Exactly. I'll be at the game in Spain. I'm paying for my ticket and everything. Okay. Yeah. Are we going to make it kind of a vacation? Of course. You're in Madrid, dude. You know, I'm hoping to go to a Hailstorm concert and everything. So, yeah, I'm going to make it also a trip, but that's why didn't I tell you the whole off season, this is going to be a bad year for me. The only pinnacle of the season is going to Spain just to be out there, and hopefully that day they perform well, we get lucky or whatever, and then that's it. I told you that the entire offseason, and I've kept my word. I just never expected anything from this year. So I'm not surprised where we're at. And for me, the Spain trip is just the pinnacle because it's like an international trip. So if your team's there, you get that morning game and all that. So I'm looking forward to it. That's fine. If they win, they win. And if they lose like I expect, it is what it is. But you know what? I'll get to hang out with a whole bunch of Dolphin fans from the United States that came over with me and a whole bunch of international fans. And then we can commiserate and talk about how much we suck and how much we, hate that we are constant losers. Next up. Jonah Debowski. You're talking bad about the owner, but the worst thing he did was pay Tua that contract you were rooting for. What coach can coach through a bad QB? I don't know, man. I can't tell you. I can't answer any of that, my brother. I can't. When Ryan Tannehill can leave this place and have more success, and he's half the quarterback, half the passer, that too is, but that's all right. We can differ on it. You could differ on that, and I differ on that you just don't know how to build around a quarterback. Like they didn't know how to build around Marino. They didn't know how to build around, even to have more success with Tannehill. And, of course, they don't know how to build around Tua. And, by the way, this is the same team that missed out on Breeze twice. So, you go ahead. Of course, the Dolphins are experts at handling quarterbacks. Next up, they are. Ozzie Fisher, just think 2 years ago we were talking about Vegas and Tommy Rockers. I know. All of us getting together to party and celebrate. Now we're looking at the first pick in the draft. So sad. I know. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on a second, Ozzie. There's a positive here. Our night on Thursday is really short. Right, Sean? I mean, if we have the number one pick, that's a pretty good draft show to get prepared for on Thursday. Huh, Sean? We come on an hour before. We talk a lot of shit. Boom, we get our pick, and we get the hell out. And we're done. Come on, Sean. You got to say the Dolphins did something for us there now, right? Because waiting for the 17th pick in the draft or the 25th pick in the draft only to have another shitty season, I'd rather get the first pick and then have a shitty season. Winner, chicken dinner. Next up. Love it. Adolfo Foliaco. We don't need a plane with a banner. Just go out of the stadium and say you want changes. He will hear any fan yelling with those big ears. Will hear him. That is true. That is true. There is a fact that with those ears, Stephen Ross can hear everything. So all you got to do is stand outside your door and yell, and Stephen Ross hears it all. Did you know that when Jay Fiedler was the quarterback, they didn't need the quarterback to coach headset? Not at all. He's just yelled at, yo, Red Ride 47, 862 on 5. And everybody in the huddle is going, huh? Jay's like, gotcha. And, so it's possible. Next up. Corso. Everyone at the next home game needs to start tailgating. Keep the stadium empty. Send the message, embarrass Ross. It'll never happen. People will never stop buying tickets, and they won't go to tailgate. It's football, bro. Football's a drug for us, for this country. Next up, but I get it, Corso. Hit him where it hurts. Jose Jaime, thanks for speaking the truth. Ross has to go. He won't go. He won't go. Okay? I'm just saying, make him feel it. That's all. Make him feel it. Don't bother yourself with the minions. They're not the problem. Bother Ross. That's who you got to do. Bother Boss Ross. Next up. We got Frankie Fresco. My Gators fired Napier. Next, McDaniel. Let's hope so, my brother. Let's hope so. And good for you, Frankie, because I guess you get to move on a little bit there, and maybe they find themselves the right head coach. Next up, I don't know if we have. John Wayne's 45. Big O. What is that? Scross coin dumped 99.9%. I don't know what the hell that is. Ross coin. Yes. Ross coin. I'm adding the S figure of the money, like if it was a letter, like you replaced it with an S. And so now I got it now. Okay. I got it. Ross. Yes, the Ross coin is it's a shit coin, like the Trump coin, Melania coin, shit coins. Exactly. Next up. Adam Carlson, the next coach the Dolphins hire, Dolphins hire. What is it? The next coach the Dolphins hymns get. I want them to have be a head coach before, not a new one like the last 5 or 6. Oh, so you want him like Jimmy Johnson, prior head coach, Super Bowl, multi-Super Bowl winning coach? No. Okay, you want it like Dave Wanstead, coach of the year? No. Okay, you want Nick Saban, former NFL assistant coach, but the best college head coach transitioning to the NFL. Oh, you don't want that either? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. You don't want the offensive coordinator, the hot offensive coordinator, the hot defensive coordinator either. I'm just trying to find out. I don't know if have the Dolphins done it all? Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning coach, the former NFL coach, coach of the year in Chicago, the championship caliber college coach that's a former NFL assistant. We've hired the offensive coordinators and the defensive coordinators that are hot. We've hired the position coaches that are hot. You know, I think the only thing we haven't hired is a special teams coach. That's the only thing we haven't hired. But it's funny because I always laugh with fans. No, I want an experienced coach. Oh, you mean like Jimmy Johnson was? Okay. I'm with you, bro. And by the way, who's the experienced coach you want right now? Huh? Who is it? Who right now you got to have that's the experienced coach? I always love that one. Huh? Who's that? Who's that guy you got to have? Because last year there was one. His name was Vrabel. But I just want to know, like, right now, who's that guy? Next up. Josh, again, thank you, sir, for your generosity. You like Ross when he paid Tua. Now you don't. I don't like Ross, period. And I'm good with Tua. I have no problem with Tua. Everything else is a problem. So that's fine with me. I want Tua gone just like you guys, but for different reasons. You want him gone because you hate him. I want him gone because he might have a chance to succeed somewhere else. Nobody ever succeeds here, Josh. I'm sorry. You want to name the list of quarterbacks that have won championships here? I'm sorry. What quarterbacks in the past 35, 40 years were winning all kinds of big games in big moments, deep playoff runs, a Super Bowl? I'm just wondering because, you know, we have that rich history here. We're like the Packers. You know, we Favre, then we go to Rodgers, and now we're trying to develop Jordan Love. Yeah, we just do like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's us. Next up. It is George G. Ross is going to tamper away our first overall pick next year at this rate. Clásico me mierda. Now, by the way, again, this is the owner that gave away a first and a third. This is the owner that gets busted with Harbaugh in the middle of the night. I mean, this is like a first-class moron. Next up, it's like, wow, how's he so good in real estate? Don't you ask yourself that sometimes? Like, he's a beast in real estate, and you're like, wow, this is like the stupidest dude I've ever seen running a football team, and somehow or another, he's a genius in real estate. Because look at the property. Genius. What he's done with that property. Joe Robbie had that property, and it was nothing. And he never had any vision like that. So, I mean, with real estate, he's a killer. When it comes to football, he's a bank robber. A man of 1,005 holds. What's the number one wide receiver? Waddle, LOL. He needs to go to the South Pole and waddle with his crew. He gets back. Yours. I just, it's so unfair to put that kid in this situation. It really is. And he got Waddle screwed up. Next up. That's it? Oh, we caught up. Holy crap, we caught up. Love it. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And we always encourage Venmo and Cash App over the Super Chat because we get 100%. David Ferronis and what's it called? Chris Perkins will be joining us any moment now, fresh from the locker rooms after this disastrous outing by the Dolphins. Damian Pantene, he says, for radio show, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. Very nice of you. I appreciate you. David Redford, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. He says, appreciate the show, Big O. Thank you, David. You are a gentleman. I appreciate you, sir. And let me see. Andrew Watson, thank you for the love on Venmo. I'd rather get Dutch ovened by toxic fart airborne shit cloud than watch another game this season. I know, but this is what we do every year. At 50 years old, Finn's last one, a Super Bowl year before my birth. I imagine I've got 20 years left. I'm lucky if they'll win the year after. They'll win the year after I die. I'm with you there. I just hit 59. So, I ain't got much left, dude. I'm hoping maybe I can get another 15, 20 years left. I'm hoping, dude. I'm praying I can get another 15, 20 years left. I don't know either. It's just, thank God for the Panthers, Just thank God that other teams have, kind of filled the void a little bit. Rob Erickson again. Big O, can they split Tua's dead cap between 26 and 27? I'm a little ignorant right now in that area, my brother. I don't have that information. I would have to look it up. But I was thinking that, they're stuck with him next year. But maybe because of injury concerns down the line, they're going to have to try to make a really difficult decision because they cannot risk injury. Then it further, burdens the cap the following year. So, again, I don't know what the writing is in there. Maybe if there's an injury, they can have a buyout. I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I have to plead ignorance here, man. I don't have enough information to tell you about that right now. I would have to look into it. If we get there to that point, then I'll start looking into that, or maybe somebody else does or whatever. We'll see. But right now, I'm not going to think about it until we get to that point. Let's see. Steve M says we should have let Tua hit the open market and come crawling back for a bargain. Either way, bro, it would have been great if he would have been gone. That's all I can tell you. Thank you, Hateful Steve. Been a fan for 35 years. This is the second worst it's been since Cam Cameron. I agree. Alan Williams. I agree, my brother. And Stephen Baker. Oh, not angry. They have exceeded my expectations for this season and beat the Jets. We don't have high expectations here. So it is what it is. What can I tell you? Now, we do have something that we should share with you. We should share with you a difference maker in the game. And our friend William Quigley at Cutter's Edge Pro, well, they've been servicing here in South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties for a long time. Well over 70 trucks. And they're always ready to give the award for the Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com difference maker.
There's only one, baby. He went 12 of 23. He went for 100 yards. He threw 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 interceptions today. And he was, we could blame the defense. They couldn't stop a cold. They had all kinds of stupid penalties. They gave their offense points, all that. We can blame the offensive line. We can blame the goofball on the sidelines. We can blame blame is all over. But today, when you do something that you've been doing for a while, Messi yesterday had a hat trick. Tua was saying, nah, Lionel, you're not going to be the only one. So Tua today produced a hat trick of interceptions. And I got to tell you, when you're able to produce a hat trick of interceptions, I got to give you the Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game. And folks, if you're looking for landscape, outdoor lighting, artificial grass, reach out to our guy, William Quigley, because landscaping can take your home, your business to the next level. The value will increase. And artificial turf, if you own dogs like we do, we own 4 dogs. Best thing that existed ever is artificial turf, man. Easiest thing to manage. So reach out to our friends, 954-472-0622. Tua Tagovailoa with those 3 interceptions. Oh, baby. He is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
The Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
Yes, sir. Love it. By the way, Caneswear, proud sponsor of our program. We love Brett and all the great people at Caneswear. If you're looking for Dolphin gear, maybe not after this performance, Miami Heat gear, Miami Marlins gear, Inter Miami gear, and, of course, anything and everything with a Canes logo on it, get on down to Caneswear. You can go online at caneswear.com. Use our code BIG-O10. You will get 10% off when you put in our code. And by the way, if you're ordering online because you're out of town or far away from the place, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping there. So reach out to our friends. All right, let's do it. He is fresh from the morgue. I mean, he should just wear black suits. You know, that's all you got to do nowadays. If you're the Meteors, just wear black suits. That's why I whipped out the black dolphin hat, you know, because obviously season is dead. So let's see what Chris Perkins tells us fresh from the morgue.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJD Construction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report.
All right, Percolator. I got depressed that I saw Mike McDaniel at the podium. That was, I was hoping maybe they'd, shit can him and he doesn't show up and they just make an announcement. We'll address the media in Miami later. Perk, this is an all-time low, bro. We're approaching Cam Cameron stuff now.
Yeah, this is bad, Big O. So first of all, I'm not at the morgue. I am here. Dave Hyde made this road trip along with David Ferronis. So I'm kind of in purgatory. Is that what you would call this?
Like me.
Yeah, exactly, Big O. But yeah, this is terrible. I wrote this week that the McDaniel era is going from mediocrity to failure. And that's kind of what we saw today. Big O, 31-6. I mean, I didn't pick them to win this game. I finally learned my lesson with this team. But, boy, I thought they would put up a bigger fight than this. I know that the front seven is lacking. I know the run defense is lacking. I know quarterback play is lacking. I know that special teams is lacking. But, man, I mean, this was just pathetic. It's getting to the point where you have to wonder, are they going to quit on Mike McDaniel? Well, are they going to stop listening to Mike? As I've said, I think this team has a good fighting spirit. They'll never quit. But I think at some point they will stop listening to Mike. I don't know what's going on at quarterback with Zach Wilson being supplanted by Quinn Ewers. Zach Wilson, the direct calculated target in the offseason, and he's already been supplanted by a 7th-round pick. There's a lot of disarray going on here, Big O.
Yeah, well, that one, I'm sorry, but I was, before even training camp or anything started, I said Ewers ahead of, I thought Ewers would be ahead of him. And when we saw him in training camp, I would have taken Ewers. I was never a Zach Wilson guy, dude. He's just an athletic guy. He's got a beautiful arm, but he doesn't know really what to do with it, and he can't anticipate and all those kind of things. Ewers looks like, to me, all this is I got to give them credit, objectivity here. Here's a guy that at this point in the season is just better and has a better understanding of the offense. And that's why they elevated him for, not that he's going to save the season, as you saw it, playing under those conditions. No one is going to succeed, dude. So.
No, but you know what, Big O? How did you miss on the backup quarterback for the second straight year? Last year, they gave us all that stuff about the competition between Skylar Thompson and Mike White, and it turns out neither of them was equipped to be a number 2 quarterback in this league. And now you go out and spend, $6 million on Zach Wilson, a direct calculated target, and Mike McDaniel talked about how he thought that he could revive his career in a similar way that he did with Tua. And now here we are in week 7, and you find out you were wrong. Like, how can you mess up backup quarterback so badly 2 years in a row?
Wait. Perk, you're asking that question when the goofball that's in charge had Skylar Thompson next to him for 3 freaking years and had no idea he couldn't play. And by the way, from what I'm hearing, Ewers was the front office's pick, and Zach was Mike McDaniel's pick. So, take for it as you will, overall. But I am not surprised. This is not a good coach, man. Mike McDaniel constantly proves that he is not a good coach. And his assessment of Skylar and now Zach just proves it over and over again, dude. When I look at the guy in Minnesota, Chris, I don't care who you are, bro. You can go there. And Kevin O'Connell will make you look like somewhat serviceable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Outside of Tua, nobody looks good under this guy's tutelage. And that's where I got to see, okay, if you're a quarterback guru like Andy Reid is, Alex Smith played his best football. He played his whole career in San Francisco. When he went to Kansas City, he played his best and most aggressive football he had ever played in his life. Why? Because of Andy Reid. Donovan McNabb was the best he could be because of Andy Reid, and so is Pat Mahomes. You got to show me that you're a quarterback guru, overall. Look at what Shanahan's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? This is what I need to see. That guy has proven to me over and over again, he misreads that position.
Well, and it's the whole institutional failure here with the Dolphins, Big O, that here we are in 2025 and changes that should have been made in 2023 still have not been made as far as aggression and offensive diversity and finding a backup quarterback and all these kinds of things. And it's just like you look at this team and it's like, either A, why didn't you recognize this stuff? I mean, I've been writing about this. There's nothing that I know about this team that they don't know. They're way smarter than I am in football. We'll all admit that. But how could they either ignore it or not act on it? That's the thing with me, is the institutional failure, and it's why I think you've got to kind of take a broom to the whole operation of Greer and McDaniel and Tua, and they've all got to go. You've just got to start over again here. It did not work.
Perk, I already talked about it last week. I heard from the building, unless they win 8 or 9 games, they're not surviving. So Greer and McDaniel aren't surviving. And then, I was thinking about this now, and this one this is not information from the building. This is just me now spitballing. They're stuck with Tua next year. Well, maybe not, because of his injury history. You might just want to pull the entire damn Band-Aid next year. And so you might, at one point here in the season, you might just want to rely on the 2 youngins for the rest of the year and keep Tua out and try to keep him healthy and go into the offseason where you can just take whatever cap hit, destroy the hell out of your team so you can reset the whole thing with a new general manager, new coach, and then he could get his quarterback. And next year, you're already going to have a high pick this year. Well, next year when you destroy it all, you'll have another high pick next year. And so now you can move into another direction. But the Tua thing, they may be forced to get out of it because, again, I don't know the language, but if you play him next year in his last year and he suffers any injuries, does that trigger any money for the following season?
Big O, you got to get rid of Tua. You've got to. You can't saddle a new GM and coach with Tua. That's the thing.
Doggy, I'm just talking about money. I
know. Look, no, you just take the pain.
You're on clean slate and all that. I'm just talking money now, and strategically, I think you have to handle that. Didn't they do that with Russell Wilson, Doggy?
Yes, of course. That's the precedent. There's nothing. Money is not obligating you to Tua. If you're serious about making a start, you either do the Russell Wilson Denver thing or you do the Kirk Cousins Atlanta thing. But you can't get an attractive GM and head coach and tell them Tua is going to be your quarterback next year. You can't saddle them with that. You're not going to get a good candidate, and you're not going to get a good result for year one of whoever you put in there. This has been clean sweep for a couple of weeks for me. Just take the financial pain. You're taking pain anyway. Take the financial pain and make the clean sweep.
By the way, Stephen Ross doesn't take any financial pain whatsoever. Okay, that property prints money. F1 just got a new deal. You know, that little write-off, his stock goes up more than the loss of Tua's contract. Okay, so yeah,
he can afford it. Yeah,
he please, bro.
Yeah.
Give him a break. It's a tiny little write-off in his book. It's like you and me losing $39 on something and him losing $39 million. Give me a break, dude.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the big impediment would be the dead money that you incur. That prevents you from improving your team immediately. But yeah, from the financial point of view, Steve Ross is not going to sweat it. It's going to be the dead money point of view that impedes further improvement, immediate improvement.
We are talking about Mr. Tank anyways. So he's always wanted to tank. So McDaniel round, you tank. Next year, you blow the whole cap up. So it'll set you up to tank again. So you'll be tanking 2 years in a row, and you'll have high picks 2 years in a row of all kinds of selections. And the front office already reloaded you with a couple of extra picks going into next year. So there you go, dude. And if you can move Chubb here at the trading deadline, there you go. You could get yourself another pick since you are going to do this kind of stuff. So to me, there's a lot of thinking going on right now. It's not so simple of just firing Mike McDaniel. It's firing Mike McDaniel and then the dominoes that then fall after that.
Yeah, and look, let me be very clear here. I don't think there should be a fire sale, right? I mean, you're not, and I don't know that there's been any serious thought to, parting ways with Waddle or Achane, but Chubb and Jalen Phillips are the ones that you're looking at, right? And nobody else is realistic, or nobody else is going to get you any talent in return. You want to leave the new coach and GM something. Give them a choice.
They're not moving Jalen Phillips either. Okay, I can tell you for a fact, the Waddle stuff and the Jalen Phillips is garbage. They got Phillips controlled for one more year on a tag anyway. So the new
do you want to tag him? Here's the thing with Jalen Phillips, though, is that here's a guy who's never had a double sack season, a guy who is injury prone, and a guy who needs a contract. Unless he gives you a hometown discount, right? I mean, I'm not going to sign Jalen for, whatever his market value would be. He'd have to give a hometown discount to me.
Yeah, but I think you could get a 1 year tag on him, so he can't ask for much anyways. It's not like he can ask for much. It's not like he's going to have a big market out there. So you're better off keeping him for 1 more year and testing it out and see if it works out. And then you can move forward if he can actually stay healthy and be. If not, you're going through a transition year next year anyway. So it doesn't. You're going to need some players. So you got to
correct.
You got to some people. Chubb is older. That one makes a lot of sense because there was a window coming up anyways in the offseason with him. So you're good. That one makes sense where you can get a pick. The Waddle stuff and the Phillips, plus nobody's going to wow you with any kind of picks for Jalen Phillips. You're going to sell them at 40 to 50 cents on the dollar at this point. And I don't even know if that's what get a 5th or 6th round pick. What's that really going to do for you, dude? Maybe you're better off bringing him back for 1 year because maybe you do end up seeing him turn the corner or whatever, or he has a good year for you. And that would be much more productive than a late round pick.
Yeah, I think Chubb has better value, and Chubb is a guy who's actually produced double-digit sack totals and made Pro Bowls, and so yeah, he's got more marketing value. The Phillips is, probably more sentimental than anything, and crossing your fingers.
Yeah. All right, so do they fire him? Do you think this happens? Because to me, I almost, if you're not firing, then you're showing me as an owner you don't care.
I think it's a matter of when he gets fired, and I don't know what Steve Ross is thinking as far as the bye week or whatever. Again, what I say is it's when you determine players have stopped listening to Mike, and I think we are fast approaching that time. Mike is now 29-30 as a head coach. Or 29-29. He's 500 as a head coach, 29-31, including the playoffs. I mean, I think players at 1-6, they start to look around and go, yeah, this is kind of BS. Like what he's telling us is not working. We keep getting penalties. We can't get plays in on time. TUA is talking about the operation today in year 4, week 7 of year 4. You're still talking about the operation. It's again, I think these players like Mike. I think these players respect Mike, but they're not going to keep listening to Mike because what he's preaching is not getting results. They see the talent that they had that walked out the door. He couldn't produce with that. I don't know why anybody would think he can produce with lesser talent. He had the best talent this organization has had in 2 decades, and I give him and Chris Greer total credit for compiling that talent. They just didn't deploy the talent correctly. So I think players see that, and at a certain point, they tune them out, whether that's Monday or 2 Fridays from now or whatever. That's when Mike McDaniel has to go, when Steve Ross adheres that these players are no longer listening to the coach.
All right, Perk, what are they going to read from you at the Sentinel tomorrow?
Well, I think I'm probably going to lean into the quarterback situation and wonder what's going on there. I think my coworker Dave Hyde is going to kind of take the big picture, Steve Ross, Mike McDaniel, what becomes of McDaniel. And what I'm thinking now is I'll probably hone in on the quarterback situation. I don't know what happens with me during the week. I've got standby jury duty here in Miami-Dade County, so I've got to report tomorrow at 9:15 a.m.
Doesn't get picked. All right, let's all pray it doesn't get picked.
Let's hope my ignorance shines through, Big O. And the judge says we don't want this dude anywhere influencing a jury. So hopefully that happens. But I think I'll do the quarterbacks tomorrow, and we'll see what happens during the week. I might just be writing stuff at night after I get out of jury duty.
Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Perkins, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up next week, my friend. Have a terrific
Good deal. We'll do it, Big O. Thanks, man.
You got it. EJD Construction. Eric is a beast. He's been at this for over 20 years. AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau, 305-433-4843. Dade and Broward County, not condos, just homes or businesses. So if you're looking for custom home construction or major home remodeling, whatever it is you need to do, a pool, you need to redo the roof, you got to add a second floor, you call Eric. They know how to get it done. 305-433-4843. And by the way, they use Shell Construction to keep costs down. Call my guy, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDConstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. By the way, Subaru of Pembroke Pines, a proud sponsor of our program, and we love talking about Alan and all the great people out there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And they got a big deal going on right now, the Trick or Treat Pick Your Savings event going on. And get on down there, check out the Subaru Forester 2025 model, $257 a month. The Outback, $237 a month, 0 down. 0.9% financing. The Crosstrek, they got a great selection too, which you always want to go to a dealership that's got a large selection. That way you can pick the car you want, the color you want, the model you want, the style you want. The Crosstrek right now is $197 a month. The Legacy 2025 model, $267 a month, 3.9% financing. They got 0 down. Also, the Ascent, $367 a month. This is a premium Ascent model, 2.9% financing. And if you got somebody that is starting out to drive in the family, the Impreza, super affordable, $177 a month, 0 down, 3.9% financing. Most Subarus are made here in America, so you're saving yourself money. Get on down there at 16100 Pines Boulevard. Eric Stampone and Company. They'll get it done at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. We're at it. All right, let's see what else. Did any super chats come in during that time, my brother? Not sure. We did. AD Dances. 25 years, Paul in Connecticut. Yeah, well, it's been a lot longer than that, bro. It's been 40 years. The Dolphins have been a joke for 40 years. Even in the Marino years, we got entertained with Marino's talent, but the team never really came through in any real big moments. Next up. Oh, that's it? Okay. Thank you all out there, as always. I appreciate you all. Let me see. I think I did see something before. Stephen Baker, Dolphins pronouns are they, them, no identity. It's bad, man. It's absolutely bad to see what's happened to this team. And I feel bad for you all. What's it called? David Ferronis will be joining us any minute now. What else? Brad Lipshaw. Big O, I moved to Miami from Detroit in 74, and the team has sucked since I moved here. I stopped watching the Dolphins, and now I'm a Panthers-only fan. I can't watch a defense this bad ever again. It's bad. It is bad. It sucks being a Dolphins fan because it's constant suffering, dude. Doesn't matter who. Nobody ever succeeds here. It's just the players change and the faces change, and we kind of end up talking about all the stuff that's all the same again. John Dunn, would Tua play backup for anyone? A lot of pride there. I see him retiring. He's not going to retire, bro. He'll try to go somewhere else and give it a go like everybody else does. Let's see. Cynical Charlton says he's trashing all the coaching possibilities, but refuses to blame the GM who built. I told the GM's gone, dude. That's it. The GM's gone. It's over. This has failed. Done. It's over. GM's gone. I don't know what more you need me to say. GM's gone. It's failed. And so is McDaniel. That's it. I told you guys this last week. They're done. Unless they win 8 or 9 games, they're not surviving anymore. Everything has failed. Done. Over. History. Daniel Rodriguez, easy for Tua to be done with McDaniel now after he got his contract. I laughed at Big O thinks Tua is going to go somewhere else and have success. Love you, but you have been wrong about Tua all along. We'll see. We shall see. And I'm glad he's stealing all the money, bro, because Stephen Ross steals even more money. So I hope everybody steals money from Ross, dude. I hope every single player steals money from Ross. That's what he deserves. You know? Bernie Torres says, Big O, besides the anticipatory skills, which is BS, what team wants a QB with limited mobility, concussion history, freaks out, can't run, can't do a quarterback sneak? Please, what team? Well, we'll find out, right? We'll find out what happens in the offseason. Let's see. What else do we have? Anything else? My wife wants to know where you got the Eiffel Tower. I got it at the Eiffel Tower. This is for our 25th wedding anniversary. I had a hotel that was literally next to the Eiffel Tower, our balcony and all that. And then they've got the shops, and that shop is literally 2 blocks from the Eiffel Tower. And so they have these little they have these towers all over the place, but smaller ones. So I wanted to find a large one so I can, put it and keep it as a memory for me and my wife that that we celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary at the Eiffel Tower. So yeah, we had our wedding anniversary dinner there and everything. I gave her a new wedding ring in the Eiffel Tower. I had to sneak it in through 2 metal detectors, but they were very nice because I had my wife behind me, and when I took off my jacket to put it through the metal detector, it sounded off, and I had keys. So I whipped out the keys and then the ring box at the same time. My wife was behind me. She couldn't see me. She's short. So I showed, oh, no, it's my keys. And then I had the box with the ring, and they go, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. And I had to do that twice. I had no idea that there were 2 metal detectors in the damn Eiffel Tower. And so, yeah, so that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. There's a video on social media there with all that stuff on my Twitter feed for that. You can check it out. So yeah, I got that literally at the Eiffel Tower. So I don't know where you can buy it online. I'm sure if you did some digging, somebody would have a nice big old tower like that. Not sure, but it's awesome. It really is awesome, and it's a cool memory, you know. So there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Alvaro says, Big O, jealous of Mr. Ross's bag and his success. Ross pays his players, coaches, his first-class facility, not on Ross, on clowns that are coaching. Well, he hired the coaches. He hired everybody. If your team is a constant failure and you're the one that does all the hiring, yeah, he makes money because people, are suckers for football. We can't live without it. There's really no skill to making money with an NFL team. I mean, look at the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions. Didn't win for like 70 years until now that they're good. So it's crazy. What else? St. Michael says, I often wonder if Perkins is living in the alternate reality. He's clearly not watching the same game I am. Bernie Torres says Denver took the cap hit. They have to take the cap hit and start with TUA year with a new GM and coach. Yeah, they will. That's what they'll do. Well, now we do have somebody that is live at the funeral, and we'll find out how it went with the one and only David Ferronis in our Welton Rail Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rail Miami Dolphins report with David Ferronis is in session.
Welton Rail has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Ferronis.
All right, dog. What do you got for me, bro? How was that press conference? How was that locker room?
Man, I just heard you say the funeral, that I'm here at the funeral, and I guess I am wearing some gray. I should just make this all black here with the black I have in the background too. You're wearing it too. This is just brutal at this point, from my perspective, to cover that. Now you went into this one 1-5. Your one win was against the only winless team in the NFL, and then you think, okay, Cleveland, you can get this one even though it's on the road, and you went in as underdogs, and then this happens. I mean, the other losses, 4 of them, they were close games, down to the wire, down to the final minutes, but to get embarrassed like this. And I don't want to hear so much about the elements, the conditions. I don't think they factored in too much. Early on there was some rain. You saw the wind whip a little bit, but I don't think nearly as much as we heard from forecasts and such. And just another quick, you give up a touchdown, turn it over right off the bat. Last week it was Tua's interception. This time it was a fumble by T. Eskridge on the kickoff. Then you give up another touchdown. Later, it's Tua's pick 6, and it just mounts on and on. And this is the point of no return to me.
The penalties early on gave them those
penalties, turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping them on the field with these penalties, extending drives.
Yeah. The first points they got were off 2 defensive penalties that extended completely that drive. It wasn't like their offense was actually doing great. No, it's just that their defense, the Dolphins' defense, was committing stupid mistakes along the way, and I just wonder, because they're not playing with confidence. Are you getting the feel like that this is a team that believes still in Mike McDaniel? Because that's not what it looks like.
It's not what it looks like. It's not. I feel like it's not what we're seeing. I went into the locker room today. I asked several players. Now they're all saying the right things. They're all saying yes. They still are receptive, and some of them did so with a passion. Now, one, Patrick Paul, when I asked him, he said, "I want to see this week." He was talking about he wants to see a response, not necessarily saying he wants to see if players start going away from it, but. Yeah, they're saying it, but it's hard to believe when you're watching the product and you see what's going on. And that's why, we've been on board that change is probably imminent to us. I don't know if Stephen Ross sees it that way. Up to this point, you've heard all those reports that he wants to be patient with Mike McDaniel. He likes working with him. But this one is just tough to come back from. It's 1-5 versus 1-5, and you're not even competitive. And out of that, like you said, it's because of those self-inflicted wounds that everyone talks about. The Browns only had 206 total yards of offense. Total net yards in this game was 206. You held them to 200 yards. You actually outgained them in the game because the Dolphins had 219. Now, some of that garbage time Quinn Ewers throwing deep to D. Eskridge, but that's just pathetic that you give up so much off these penalties, off the short field from interceptions, a defensive score from the pick six, just a comedy of errors.
So we look at this situation and you walk in there, you don't know if there's confidence, but if I look at Stephen Ross, if you're not making any changes, at what point does it say, do you even care? Because that's what I have to ask Stephen Ross. Do you care? Don't give me this whole shit about, well, who you're going to put in there. Who cares who you're going to put in there? It's not like what's there is working and it's organized and it looks professional. So why not make the change? And to me, that's my real problem. And we are talking about the owner that wanted to tank and couldn't get his coach on board to tank. Well, right now, he doesn't have to want to get his coach on board to tank. His coach is tanking without even trying, So it also looks bad that way, too, that, well, you're losing and you don't care. Maybe you really don't care that they're losing. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of weird, this whole thing, because it doesn't put him in a good light that he's allowing that dysfunction to take place every week.
That's the thing. And funny, or ironic, I guess, not funny, but the one quote I heard in the locker room was, we got to start now this is from the team's play perspective. We got to start doing and not saying. It's enough saying, we got to do. And then now in the same way with Stephen Ross in handling the situation and the franchise is, last year you can go and put out the statement when the team finishes a disappointing 8-9 and misses the playoffs after they had a chance in the final week, and say, my leadership in Chris Greer at GM and Coach Mike McDaniel are going to remain, but the status quo is unacceptable, right? You can say that then, and then you're not really acting yet, so it's safe to just say, okay, we demand that it's better, but now it hasn't gotten better and it's only gotten considerably worse, especially now after this game. So at what point is it just, was that an empty statement and you're not really, and the status quo, or even worse than that previous status quo is actually just totally fine with you? So you're right. I think if he's going to show that he cares and he listens to the fans' wishes and he actually thinks about how he needs to run the organization, then change might need to happen or should. It would be about action now instead of just words and statements.
Well, like I said earlier this week, Stephen Ross constantly proves he doesn't care what fans think. Why? The majority of fans want the old logo back. They don't care if you tweak it a little bit like they did in the 90s and make it meaner or whatever you want to do, but they want their old logo back. And as Marino said last year, that's his baby, and he's not letting go of it. So there's a man that doesn't listen to his fans because the fans in the majority want the old logo back. And so if you think about that right there, how minimal that is, that's, it's like, really, dude, common sense would tell you the old logo is the best logo. So now you've got this money grab going on, and now you look at real football decisions, and he's not willing to make them. So this is not an owner that really cares about his fans or what they think, to be quite honest. That's what he proves.
Well, he's business minded. Why is he successful in life? Business minded, right. And you know what? When you have you brought up the logo, and you're wearing the old logo right here, which is
all I wear.
Okay. All I wear. Yeah, it's sweet. It's sweet. But it's genius from a business perspective because you have one official logo that everyone buys because it's the official one, and then you go and sell more because you can also play up the throwback. So business mindset, that's phenomenal thinking.
And that's why I tell people, they say, Tua stealing money, or Jalen Ramsey stealing money, this player stealing money, Mike McDaniel stealing money. Well, guess what? Nobody steals more money than Stephen Ross.
Wow.
Because he's the guy that puts together a shit product every year that never wins, with all kinds of coaches, all kinds of general managers, all kinds of quarterbacks, all kinds of players. All those faces and names constantly change. The results are all the same, yet he's the one making all that money. And that property, all it does is make more money every year when you add more things to it. So to be quite honest, nobody steals more money than Stephen Ross.
And this whole thing with the logo, it's a microcosm of exactly that, it's not going to happen until it starts hurting his pocket. And I think that's the thing that you always hear in these national reports. Like, he likes working with Mike McDaniel, wants to remain patient with him. Well, then what happens if people stop showing up, or the value of those tickets plummets if people are canceling season tickets, which I think, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's renewal time around now ish. I'm not sure. Who in the right mind is paying, which, by the way, those season tickets continue to go up in price. Who's renewing in the right mind with this product?
Right? The product is shit, and they charge you more. It's freaking amazing.
Right. And then I'm sure it'll be played up that there's an extra home game next year, or as an extra home game, because they actually lost a home game by sending it to Spain this year. Even though, and the additional home game would only be a preseason game. These are the kind of things that, are like done business wise, with the season ticket sales. Yeah, but that's where, if it starts hurting his pocket, that's where he would start thinking of something. But
it never will, dude. The NFL is a drug. I mean, Detroit didn't win for 70 years. They still went. They never win in, Cincinnati, I know, has had a couple of appearances, but they don't win. Arizona, are the Bidwells crying poor? Never happens. It's amazing. You look around the league, there are other teams that don't get it right for a long time, and yet they just keep making money, man, because it's impossible to lose in the NFL. It really is.
That's a bar right there. That's a quote. Even when you lose bad, it's impossible to lose because you are in the NFL.
And think about it. And what you don't have in Detroit and what you don't have in Arizona is a property that has an F1 race, top-notch concerts, one of the fifth major in tennis, or sixth major, whatever. I know there's four, but they say that this one is like one of the top tournaments in the world outside of the majors, right? So you're doing all of these things that are making you a boatload of money on top of all of that. And so you're just printing money, dude. You have a hospital on your property. You got a hospital paying to be on your property. I mean, dude, you're killing it.
Yeah,
you're absolutely killing it. You don't care if you win or lose. You never lose. There's never a lose with Stephen Ross. And he never acted that way. You know what I mean? He might be mad. Well, yeah, well, show me you're mad. Do something about it. Everything's great. We're fine. We're moving forward. We got confidence in the guy. How can you have confidence in something that nobody else has confidence in? And it's baffling, dude. It really is.
This one feels like the one that puts you over the top. Like you can't go losing 31-6 to the Browns under any circumstances, let alone when you're 1-5 and you are the coach that's most spoken about as being on the hot seat. Even before it was Brian Callahan that was the first to go. And then and these things also, they can turn quickly because no one wants to put it out there. No ownership group, no one, no president, CEO wants to put that word out there before it happens when they're still employed, when that coach is still employed. So that's why Adam Schefter, an hour before Brian Callahan got canned, he was still saying he doesn't see anything happening right now. And then it happens. So, that's what's always going to be put out there, before it happens. So you never know when it could quickly become or, be imminent.
It's crazy stuff, dude. All right. Tua, clearly he's done here. There's no doubt. But the big picture right now is I see a guy playing with zero confidence in this offense. And that interception he threw from the middle of the back of the end zone, when he saw that blitzer coming, brother, he is going to protect himself. And that's something that I'm also seeing, that he is preserving himself. And to me, the operations of this offense is a disaster as it is. It's a terrible offense. This guy doesn't know how to run it. But I see from afar, it just looks like the quarterback and the head coach, there's a huge disconnect. That's just me.
Yeah, there's been some examples of that. What they've put out there, even just their messaging, their quotes post game. McDaniel originally backing Tua on his comments, but then going the other way the next day about how he can't be putting that in the public forum. So I think sometimes you've seen some hints of it, but also Tua protecting himself, I think, is something that the leaders in the organization have wanted out of him. So that's something he is being instructed to do, and so he is putting it into practice.
Yeah, but his crazy ass will forget about those things in a normal setting, that every once in a while he'll take care of, but then he'll have that brain fart and just want to go, where I don't think you're going to get that from him anymore at this point. I don't think you're going to get that warrior type play. And I just think there's a disconnect and there is no confidence right now. He is playing as bad as he can get. And because of this whole situation, you're going to end up putting the young quarterback in there, which that's going to be really bad for him, bro, to play behind that offensive line in this situation. That's really tough for Ewers.
Yeah, the offensive line, I mean, there was constant pressure and duress. And then now you're talking about you are already down Tyreek Hill. Darren Waller suffers a pectoral injury in this game, doesn't come back. And then Jalen Waddle, who, by the way, said you told me that he was fine. It was nothing. That the late hit that he took went down for a little bit, jogged off the sideline or back to the sideline. But, he was getting hurt on top of you. You're already down Tyreek Hill. And when Darren Waller came in, it was him entering as Tyreek Hill.
It was bad. Yeah. Got him injured. That's what it was. That was a Tannehill like throw. Those were those are the Tannehill like throws that I used to remember with him, that he didn't put it in the right spot and he put Waddle in a tough spot. It looked like he perdió el aire, as we say in Spanish. He lost his right. That's what
I haven't heard that phrase. I mean, that is a direct translation of the English for his got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, the wind knocked out of him. I think that's what I think happened to him. That I think he got the wind knocked out of him, and then it looked like he got shaken up at that moment. It didn't look like an injury. It looked like he got the
right.
You land on your back like that. Yeah, that happens sometimes, that it can knock the hell out of you. So, what's going to happen? What do you feel is going to happen with this QB position now? Is it going to be more of a fluid thing where they're going to say, well, if Tua doesn't have it, we go early to him? Because this is what I brought up to Perk. Next year, they're stuck with his salary. Okay, but you may have to do a Russell Wilson thing, because at one point you may have to preserve him to avoid injuries so you can part ways with him. But if you have him injured, then it becomes even harder. And I don't know what the language is and all that kind of stuff. Because if it's not concussion and it's a knee or something else, you may not be covered in that way where, it might create problems for you in the cap the following season. So you're going to already suffer in 26. You don't want anything rolling into 27. So I think they're also going to get to a point where they may have to preserve him in order to part ways from him.
Okay, that's a theory. I think it would be. Yeah, it's still you're rolling with Tua. I don't. Does he have a short leash?
Not yet. Not
right.
yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Because the other thing is, like, you might need a spark if you're Mike McDaniel, as far as just like the way Brian Dable with Jackson Dart, where he was on the hot seat, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, but he's got Jackson Dart playing this way, and then now all of a sudden you're not even thinking of doing anything with Dable with the Giants. So it's clearly not working with Tua playing.
And Dolphins don't really go together, by the way.
What's that?
Spark and Dolphins.
Yeah.
Moron.
Yeah, it hasn't happened for I was going to say 25, but more than that years. So, I mean, those are the kind of things that a coach on the hot seat that's on the verge. If it doesn't happen Monday and he continues to lead the team, whatever the case may be, then you might want to go to a shorter leash where then if Quinn Ewers suddenly shows something, which I don't know if he will, it's a very tough situation when you have this offense without Tyreek Hill. Darren Waller's now injured, and Jalen Waddle was shut down in this game before he got shaken up. And the offensive line that you're behind, there'll be so many challenges for a rookie 7th round pick, which is factually what Quinn Ewers is. But that's one thing in a complex system, by the way, that the coach makes more complex with how much is put on the quarterback's plate. Those are the kind of things that can turn things around for a coach if a different quarterback were to provide a spark. But like you said, sparks don't happen with this franchise much.
No. I mean, look at Sparky on the sidelines there. He's faced with the 4th down, and he has to blow a timeout because he's not ready to get the play in there. I mean, you can't win with a guy like that on the side. A head coach was constantly unprepared. Dude, your head coach has to be a chess master. Okay? Not checkers. No. We're not talking about Chinese checkers. No. We're not talking about any of those little games. You got to be a master chess player. You need to be seeing 3 moves ahead of everybody else at all times. You need to anticipate anything and everything that's coming up. And when it happens, you have to have an instant answer. And what happens with Mike McDaniel is the same thing that happens in a press conference. Inside his brain, there's a lot of ums, ahs, and I don't know. And then he comes up with something. And you just can't. It's impossible with somebody like that. It really is.
I hear you. This is frustration to the max for everyone involved.
So what'd you pick up from McDaniel? Anything?
He's trying to remain as consistent as possible with messaging, with hearing the questions again, because he's got to hear them with him on the hot seat, and always having them thrown his way. I felt like more inflection a little bit in his voice when I did ask him, again, if has any renewed concern over his job security with this latest development. And whether the messaging is getting across to players, kind of like avoided that question directly, but a lot of the players were still saying the right things in the locker room. But I mean, he's trying to hold on. He's trying to hold on is how I would describe it, and trying to put on a face for it. But it's just tough when that's the product that's being put out there, and that everyone can see what it is.
Crazy. Follow him on Twitter at David Ferronis _. What are you working on, bro? Because it starts getting harder and harder now, because there's you really can't talk about any kind of playoffs or anything positive for the future. You're actually talking about what's going to happen negatively down the line.
Yeah. So I am writing more on exactly what players were saying about how receptive they remain to coaching, and Mike McDaniel's thoughts on that. We'll be updating the game coverage with all the fallout and feedback. And also before the game, a storyline was the Quinn Ewers thing, supplanting Zach Wilson as a backup quarterback. So did speak to him afterward to get his thoughts. So we'll add that in there. And just staying ready if it pops off tomorrow or whenever. That with Mike McDaniel, just being prepared.
I'll leave you with this because you're going to get it a lot, okay? Because you get it all the time and every year. And for decades, because this is how the lazy fan and the lazy media member thinks sometimes, okay? Here we go. We need another quarterback because he's going to make the difference, all right? Just remember that whoever the Dolphins draft, their biggest problem is they don't know how to compliment them. They didn't know how to compliment this guy, and he didn't win shit. Ryan Tannehill is not a very good quarterback, but he went to Tennessee and had more success than he had here. So your quarterback is not the answer. And maybe that happens with Tua. When he eventually leaves, he goes somewhere else and has more success. This is the franchise that passed on Drew Brees twice. This is the franchise that doesn't know how to identify or support its quarterbacks. On the flip side, I got it on the DMs yesterday. I would imagine that Mario is regretful of not recruiting Mendoza. And then I turned around to that person. I said, he had a Heisman Trophy candidate last year named Cam Ward, and he couldn't even get to the ACC championship game or the playoffs. If your people that run your organizations don't know how to identify / support their quarterback, that becomes the bigger problem, okay? And maybe that's why the kid on Saturday had to say, yeah, on that last one, this guy ran the wrong route. Because maybe if he runs the right route, you might win the game even on a bad day, because it's not all on the quarterback. We have this laziness as media and fans that we put it all on this guy. And all on this guy is just so stupid. And the one thing that I've noticed that the Canes now with Mario and the Dolphins for decades now, they really don't understand how to compliment and help their quarterbacks play their best. Pretty tough.
Yeah. Hey, well said.
Think about it. So say, it's that easy. It's not that easy.
Yeah,
all right, bro. Be safe out there. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Thank you.
You got it. David Ferronis. Follow him on Twitter at David Ferronis _ And, of course, reach out to our friends at Welton Rail, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. And, folks, if you suffer damage to your home, your business, never call the adjusters. Never call the adjusters. No. You don't call the insurance company and they bring their adjusters. No. You call Welton Rail. They send their own adjusters. And then they attack the insurance company. That's the way you do it. The adjusters that work for the insurance company work for the insurance company, not for you. The adjusters that work for Welton Rail, they work for you. It's like having an extra pair of tackles. Besides Welton Rail, the adjusters are your extra pair of tackles. We even got starting tackles and swing tackles at Welton Rail. So if you want the right protection, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rail Miami Dolphins Report with David Ferronis. At Welton Rail, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rail can help.
Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Of course, you can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff. And we always appreciate all kinds of insults. Edward Malagong. He says, Big O, hugs from an old Miami Cuban now swinging up in the village. Maybe this will get the fish smell off my guayabera. So you're living in the villages. I hear that place is a trip, by the way. I hear it's like its own city. People are driving around in golf carts. They have lanes for golf carts. They've got all kinds of hangout areas in different parts of the villages and all that. Yep. Supposedly there's a lot of action for folks that are single in the villages. So enjoy yourself, my brother. Daniel Rodriguez, bring on El Cubano Mendoza. Again, if you don't support him, it's not going to happen, my brother, okay? You got to support the player, okay? And that's something that we don't do here. We don't support the player. We didn't give Marino a running game. We didn't give him a defense. You know, we screwed up a lot with Marino, and yet people blame Marino. Stephen Baker, I think it's time for an AI owner, manager, and head coach. All right. Thank you all out there, man. That's pretty good. That's good stuff there. That is very good stuff. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation as always. And just like these folks, you can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff, and we always appreciate it immensely. Gabriel, thank you, sir, for the super chat. He says, Fish, Cats, and Inter are the best teams in town. Fish? Like in the Marlins? What have they done? Because they got lucky and won a couple games in the regular season? What, are you falling for the banana in the tailpipe or something? The Cats and Inter, okay. At least Messi and the boys get to the playoffs. Well, will they win a playoff game? That'll be a whole other ballgame. We'll find out. We'll see if they can win a playoff series. You know what I'm saying? But at least they're winning. And they're getting into the playoffs, something that we can't say about the other teams, including the Marlins. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the Marlins are worth anything. Gus 1388, thank you for the love on the super chat. Tua moves on to better run franchise, wins a Super Bowl, then some Finns fans will say, of course, he won. They got a loaded roster. Right, exactly. Of course. Is there any other super chat that I didn't see there that maybe already passed there, Sean, just in case? All right, we caught up. Good stuff. Thank you all out there as always, man. Appreciate the generosity, and sorry about the tough times for decades. James says, Big O just stopped in. What happened to the Dolphins today? I wasn't able to watch the game. Well, you're going to have to rewind and check it out, my brother. Josh says, I wanted Herbert, but I'm sticking with Tua till the end. I actually wanted the tackle from the Bucks. That was my pick. If you go back and look at the video, I didn't mind when they picked Tua. I told you he can pass, but you got to, set it up, and they didn't set it up. So too bad. It is what it is. You could go look at my video. I wanted the tackle, and I said I wasn't a Herbert guy because Herbert for me is Jeff George athletic. He's an athletic Jeff George. He's a soft ass dude. And I said Tua can pass, but
Tristan,
the injuries. I'm sorry. What happened?
Tristan Wirfs.
Oh, Tristan Wirfs. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the tackle. Tristan Wirfs is the guy that I wanted. You can go back. The video's there. I don't need to hide from anything. And I didn't mind Tua because I get what they were trying to do. But as I said, you got to build it right around him in order. He can pass, but you're also going to be dealing with injuries. Expect him to get injured a lot. It's there in my video, and it's pretty much been what it is. But if you don't know how to build around somebody, this is what ends up happening. So everybody's going to lose their jobs. Chris Greer's gone, and Mike McDaniel's gone. So you will get major changes. And Tua, because of the injury stuff, I think they're going to have to pull the Russell Wilson now to next year. Be prepared. Next year will be really bad. Okay, so you're going to have 2 seasons of really bad. okay, this season and next season. But you will get high picks. Will it lead to anything? I have no idea, folks. I have no idea. I don't know what to tell you. Jay Gelfin says Fort Lauderdale United FC game in their second in their inaugural season and look good enough to win it all out this year. They do. They did get to the finals last year. So let's hope they continue their winning ways. Chuck Cooper says, I wanted and pleaded for Brady Quinn and got Ted Ginn and family instead. And Brady Quinn probably would have never succeeded here anyways, because this is a terrible place. And he probably was, whether he was good enough or not, whatever. But he wasn't going to succeed here because nobody succeeds here. And that's what's consistently proven, that everybody leaves and goes and has more success pretty much everywhere else. That's the sad part, Emil says, Big O, let the Fernandez-Mendoza era begin. Keep talking. You cannot miss out on Mendoza. He would be a perfect fit in this community. Like Orestes de Estrada. Yeah. I'm sorry, are they going to block for Mendoza? Or are they going to run for Mendoza? Or are they going to defend for Mendoza? Because I don't know, is Mendoza better than this guy? And they didn't support him. The laziest thing that there is fans and media. Like that dude right there, Emil's. Lazy ass. Thinking that, the quarterback's going to solve everything. Of course he does. Yeah, just like Marino solved everything. Yeah, he solved everything. It's a very lazy approach, but very typical of fans. True Fin fan, thank you for the love in the super chat. Will Mr. Circumcision last through tomorrow? Well, he shouldn't. There's no reason for him to even be employed this season. And, I'm wondering how much of an embarrassment does Ross need in order to fire the guy? And here's, like I said earlier, True Fin fan, if Ross doesn't fire if Ross doesn't fire Mike McDaniel, he proves that he doesn't care. That's the obvious. He does not care. He doesn't give a shit about you guys. Like I told you, he puts out the new logo. He doesn't give a shit about you guys. But see, here's the thing. You went and bought the new logo all over the place. So if the new logo would have been New Coke, things would have changed. When Coke took out New Coke, everybody's like, nah, I ain't buying that shit. But what did you suckers do? They brought out the dead whale, and you went and bought it. You went and bought it in shirts and hats and all different colors and all that, and you fed right into them. By the way, that is something you can do. Stephen Ross's baby is the new logo. Ban the new logo. Send the message to Ross. Ban the new logo. How about that? Ban the new logo. That's what you do. I know you're not going to go to games, but if he just saw the new logo and the old logo and nobody bought the new logo, that would be pretty cool. Because it's his logo, it's his message. So now you can reverse it on him. Burn it all. Don't wear it. Say, Stephen Ross, why should I wear your logo? I'm going to wear the logo of the people that used to win here. Because this represents winning. Your logo represents losing. I'm not interested in your logo, Stephen Ross. That should be the campaign. That should be the social media campaign all over the place. Everybody should be posting that. I'm in a logo that wins. I'm not into Stephen Ross's logo that's about losers, and set it afire and throw it in the trash and make pictures of it and videos and things like that. That's how you send the message to Stephen Ross. I think that's actually genius. That's how you send a direct message to him. You eliminate his logo from your wardrobe. And if thousands and thousands start doing that all over the place and nobody buys a new logo, that's the way you send a message. Like, screw you, dude. We don't want your Dolphins. I want my Dolphins, not your Dolphins. That was I have just given you all the most perfect you to Stephen Ross. Not a stupid plane, none of that shit. Don't do anything ever again with that new logo. Stop being a sucker. Get it off your car, get the stickers off, get everything. Get rid of it and only use real logo. That's it. Send them that message. That'll hurt. That'll hurt. That'll be cool if you can do that. No, and not just buying. No, don't buy it. Don't stop buying Finn stuff, Howard. You know why? Because this is still worth it, bro. I'm still grateful that I grew up with this, and I grew up with the people that put this together. So no, I'm not giving up on this, but I've never given in to the whale. So I'm way ahead of most of you as it is. Okay? But I would suggest and encourage all of you to get on my bandwagon and dump the new logo. That's how you bail on the whale. Whoa! That's it. Bail on the whale. Boom. Bag on head. That is strong, dude. Bail on the whale, and you light it up on fire. You throw it in the trash, and you tell Stephen Ross, I'm never buying your logo ever again. Your logo is trash, like your team, like your decisions. Go ahead, enjoy all your money, because that's all he cares about, is making money off you all. There you go. Bail on the whale. There's some people out there going, damn, bro, I'm one of those people. I have a whole bunch of whale shit. Sorry. Marcelo says fans shouldn't attend anymore to Hard Rock Stadium. It should be empty next game. Stop buying Dolphin stuff. I wasted my money in T Hill, TUA jerseys 2 years ago. There you go. Chuck Cooper, I'm wearing a 72 logos today, proud and loud. Exactly. I will always wear this, proud and loud, after a loss. Anytime, I will wear my my old logos. Always, dude. I don't care. I have them there. I'm super proud of my old logo. But that whale shit, nah. I ain't wearing ever that whale shit. JC says, exactly. The logo is why we suck. No, I'm JC, you're obviously pretty stupid, too, on top of all of that. Nobody ever said that. It's a matter of message. Had nothing to do with why they suck. I already have talked about why they suck. They suck because they don't know how to actually put football teams together for over 40 years. From Shula's second half till now, it's always been a bunch of goofballs building football teams. Shula was a disaster. A disaster. He would coach his ass off, but he would constantly make, his last 15 years, he made so many stupid personnel decisions. It was baffling. Okay? Don Shula was one of the worst GMs ever, dude. He got even lucky with Marino. There's no skill to it. They took 5 freaking quarterbacks before his. He got lucky that Marino fell on his lap. So Shula was, in personnel side, the last 15 years, he was an absolute joke. So a lot of the shit that's gone on here in the last 30 years, a lot of that went on with Shula. So we're talking about over 40 years of being a disaster in the front office. Shula got lucky that he got some good seasons, at least, even with Marino, only because he could coach. And Marino was special. But outside of that, he was dog shit when it came to personnel, dude. Absolute, total dog shit. Anyway, Emil's, I don't talk about stupid hypotheticals at this point in time. When they fire coaches and then we find out who's available, then we'll talk about it. But just for on the record stuff, those of you that want Gruden, I think you're a moron. Okay? Mike McCarthy is actually all right, but I'm not a Mike McCarthy guy overall. Whatever. But personally, if you think Gruden, I think you're an idiot. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. All right? So when you bring it up, I just want you to know immediately, I think you're a moron. All right? Let's just get that out of the way. Because that's some stupid shit, John Gruden. And it's pretty stupid to even type it. Daniel Rincones. How logo can you go? I like it. I like it. Yeah, Don Shula was a terrible GM. Not a bad GM. He was a horrible GM, dude. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. He was lucky that he was one of the greatest 5 coaches I've ever seen in my life. That's what made Shula Shula. But when he had personnel people, he was unstoppable. That happens. You know, Kevin Shane, McDaniel made TUA play when the game was long over. Karma for the press conference. TUA should pass on this season. I think he's kind of doing that already. I think he's kind of doing that, Kevin. And I don't blame him. I'm looking, for me, if I'm TUA, I'm just looking to protect myself and stay healthy for the rest of the year and get the hell out of there, because if I'm sure he's talked with his agent says, I'll get you out of there this year, you know, and that's it. It's the best thing that can happen for everybody, Most of you don't want him here anyway. So good. Let him go. And he's not going to succeed here. So move on. Give him a chance to go somewhere else. If he fails, he fails. And that's it. You move on. If he succeeds, hey, that's our lives, right? That's all. But hey, the one thing I do know, when TUA leaves, man, there's going to be so many of you praying that he fails. Oh my God. Because if he succeeds, none of you will admit you're wrong. So that's the beauty of it. There's going to be so many people rooting for his failure. It's going to be awesome. Waddle should be traded immediately. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So you can stop with all that silliness too. Chuck Cooper, TUA is retiring. Okay, there you go. White man from town, Michael Stewart over Lewis Oliver. Shula made some earthquake Blake mistakes. Yes, he did. Robin Senline for Anthony Carter. Yes. Yeah. Sammy Smith and Eric Kumaro and it was, you know, Eric Green and oh God, what were those two, Andrew Green and Bobby, oh God, those two guard and tackle combination, also terrible. It was over and over and over and over again. He just screwed everything up, dude. Billy Milner, that's it. Billy Milner and Andrew Green. Oh my God. It's just king size stupidity. We were just a bunch of clowns in the front office there with the back half of Shula, unfortunately. So what else do we have? John Boza. Yeah. By the way, how does it end up like the Bozas, the young Bozas had their moments, but they were also very injury prone. That entire family was injury prone. None of those players, none of the Bozas were ever durable players. None of the Bozas were ever dependable players. They all broke down, dude. Now, the younger Bozas at least had some success, had some pretty good seasons, but they could not have long careers and successful careers overall because they were all always injury prone, man. It's crazy how the father and the sons, none of them were durable. That's insane how that works out, you know, genetically. Football's tough, man. Football is tough. Oscar, we don't give any. This is a Dolphins post-game show, my brother. We'll talk about that on Monday. This is not a regular talk show. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about the other sports. We're only here to talk about the sorry-ass, pathetic, and embarrassing Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins. That's all we're here to talk about. So there you go. We give you guys 5 years to get over the AFC East, and the Dolphins did anything, and now the New England Patriots are in the top of the AFC East. That's it. Eric Kumaro and Rick Gaff. Love it. Crazy shit, right? Crazy shit. It's amazing. Hateful Steve, thank you for the love in the super chat. I mean, I'm sorry, on the Venmo. And remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. He says, as if you'll ever admit Tua's a bust. I will. If he leaves and doesn't succeed, I'll totally admit that he's a bust. I have no problem with that. I would have never drafted him. That's on record. I wanted Tristan Wirfs. That's on record, but he can play, but you got to build it right around him. And we'll see. If he leaves and he doesn't succeed, it is what it is. Let's see. If he doesn't end up completely stacked with a Hall of Fame coach, you'll keep saying the people around him have let him down. Well, what can I say? Did he have what Hurts has in Philadelphia last year? No, right? Right? So if he has that, then he has a chance to win just like Hurts. If he has what they have in Minnesota, he has a chance to win. But they don't have that here in Miami. They never have. Peter German, I finally figured out what McDaniel is looking at so hard on his sheets. It really just helps wanted ads. Yeah, probably. But it's got to be porn, right? I mean, no man, no red-blooded male looks at those cards that way if there isn't porn on it. I'm sorry, that's my experience. As a red-blooded male, if I'm going to look that hard into those cards, you know. Jeremy Dorsett, why did you pull up Adewale Agunleye? That was actually a steal of a pick by Dave Wannstedt. By the way, I don't know if you're bringing it up, but that was a steal of a pick by Dave Wannstedt. Give people credit when they deserve it, okay? Dave Wannstedt picked Adewale Agunleye. Can you look it up for me, Sean? I'm going to say Dave Wannstedt picked Adewale Agunleye with an injured knee coming out of school in the 6th round. And then they put him on the shelf and then brought him back next year, and the kid turned into one hell of a pass rusher. Adewale Agunleye was one of the few genius picks by Wannstedt. Indiana University, which Indiana is now on the map. I believe it was Indiana. And I believe it was the 6th round where they drafted Adewale Agunleye, if I remember correctly. Great story. And by the way, really cool dude. You know, I haven't seen him in, I don't know, a while now. But really good dude, man. I had a great experiences and great relations with Adewale when he was here, man. Really, really good. Yes, sir.
Undrafted free agent 2000.
Undrafted, even better. Was it Indiana?
Yes, Indiana. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Undrafted. I thought it was like 6th round or something. Undrafted, even better. And then they stashed him. That was a great move, dude. That was badass, dude. That was a badass move. You had nothing to lose. You saw the talent. Dave Wannstedt was a good defensive coordinator. He had a good defensive mind, you know, a really good human being. He was just ultra, as you all know, those of you that follow it, he was just ultra conservative as a head coach. And that's ultimately what burned him at times. You know, he didn't have maybe the right QB, of course. Fiedler was serviceable, but he wasn't a franchise guy. And so that you probably needed that to kind of make a difference. But I just thought about this. You guys want to laugh? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Do you guys got barf bags right now or anything? If you're around family members and all that kind of stuff, I want you to, you know, stay away from them because you might throw up on them after you hear this. You might be sick to your stomach. Do you know that Dave Wanstead did a better job of supporting Jay Fiedler and giving him a chance to succeed than Shula did with Marino, than these guys have done, whether it's Flo or McDaniel, with Tua. Oh, and by the way, also with Tannehill. They didn't obviously, because you saw what, he went to Tennessee and they gave him a line, a real dominant running game, and that made his life easy. But with Jay Fiedler, they gave him a top-notch defense. The line was decent. It wasn't a great line, but it was decent. It was serviceable. He always had a running game. He had a dedication to the running game. Randy McMichael, tight ends were used. Chris Chambers was a very good receiver. Like, wow. Wow. Rob Conrad as a fullback. Like, you gave him a pass-catching fullback. You gave him running backs. You gave him a tight end. You gave him receivers, decent line, dominant defense. You gave Jay Fiedler everything he needed in order to succeed. He went as far as he could on his talent. Okay? Tough son of a bitch, too, man. He took some beatings. But it screwed up. That even the way, I know that sometimes Dave was a little conservative, but he was dedicated to the running game. And he played some high percentage stuff to help his quarterback out. And in a twisted way, Dave Wanstead did a better job of supporting Jay Fiedler and giving him a better chance to succeed than Shula ever did with Marino or Tannehill or Tua. How do you like them apples? How's that feel? Dave, you're getting some love here on the show. You deserve it. Crazy shit. Lamar Smith, right? I mean, he had Gadsden, right? He gave him a big target downfield. Just throw it up. Just throw it up, Jay. Tua doesn't have that, of course. We throw to midgets. We like Oompa Loompas. That's kind of the way we do it. Let's make it hard on everybody. It's just, is that screwed up or what? How do you like them apples? Dave Wanstead was the last person, along with Rick Spielman, who, by the way, built a pretty good team in Minnesota. He just couldn't find the quarterback. Teddy was decent, but not really a franchise quarterback. And so you got as far as you could. He couldn't never find the quarterback, but he actually built a pretty decent team offensively and defensively when he left here. But you think about it, the last time a front office did a responsible job of building right around a quarterback was Dave Wanstead. That's the kind of insight you're not going to get anywhere else. By the way, that's the kind of breakdown you won't get anywhere else. Because, well, a lot of those people they haven't even been on the beat long enough to know the history of the Dolphins like I do. Poo part, maybe, that's about it. Is that crazy? Dave Wanstead and Rick Spielman, kudos to them. They're the last set of people that did their best to build the best around their quarterback. Shula failed. They failed around Tannehill, and they have definitely failed around Tua. Crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. Jeremy says, facts, Big O. I grew up during that era. Chuck Cooper says, remember Underwood, Demetrius? Yes, bro. I was at the press conference when they brought him in. He had a scar from here to here. And I had my mic there interviewing him, and I was like, this son of a bitch tried to commit suicide. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking that, like, and he was a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Let's see. Horseshit. Shula brought Irving Fryer, drafted Richmond Webb and Keith Sims, Ulenek, Dellenbach. The line was all right. The left side was great. The right side was not. Okay? It wasn't. It wasn't anything special. And what running back was special? I'm sorry. I must have missed it, Mario. If the offensive line was so dominant, what running game dominated? And what defense dominated, Mario? Brother, if your butt hurt about Shula, I'm sorry, Papo. But Marino never played with a defense that was really good. He never had a dominant offensive line. He had a dominant left side of the line. And he never had a dominant running game. Never. He had pass catching backs. Since they couldn't run, they were pass catching. Shula sucked, bro. Shula sucked, and he failed Marino. Okay? He was great early on when he had his personnel people. Once Shula was in charge of personnel, the Dolphins were never the same again, dude. Once they lost Thomas, Young, and Beathard, they were never the same again. Sorry, dude. Learn the history. That's just the way it goes. We all love Shula, but we all know he was a joke when it came to personnel. A joke. Let's see. Is McDaniel the only coach in the league that prioritizes catches for his fullback rather than tight ends? I can't help you with that, bro. I thought Wanstead was not appreciated enough here. Wanstead had great defenses and committed to the run. Again, he actually, when you think about it, he at least had a little bit more logic to the way he was building the team around his quarterback more than what's gone on before and after. That's crazy. Dude, think about Jimmy, okay, takes over and says, all right, Marino, we're going to take away your audibles. We're going to get rid of your pass-catching backs. No more Byers and no more Kirby. Oh, and we're going to trade away your Pro Bowl wide receiver. Isn't that a great way to compliment your quarterback? Not. We're a stupid franchise, bro. I mean, we're king-size stupid. Seriously. Think about Jimmy Johnson doing that. Yeah, let me just weaken everything from Marino. Yeah, why not? What do we need? Yeah, he doesn't need audibles. Check with me system. That'll be good for him. Either you run the play my ego wants, or we'll give you this play that my ego wants. Wanstead and Spielman. The best coaches the best people that have complimented a Dolphins quarterback. That's ridiculous. That's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. So, what else? My plan, you know what my plan is? To watch this disaster take fold. There is no plan right now, bro. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to follow up here, my brother. I don't see a real coach out there that gets me crazy and that we got to have. So I don't know what to tell you, my friend. I don't see a lot of light at the end of the tunnel at this point in time. And I'm not going to bullshit you guys. I'll let everybody else, create fake enthusiasm and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'll wait till somebody shows me something. But right now, I don't see anything that would be worth it at this point in time. There's no coach out there that, oh, my God, I got to have him. Turns out the smartest guy that was out there was McKenzie. He got out in time. Yeah, he went to Tennessee. I wonder why he left to Tennessee. Huh? A team that was in rebuild, and he leaves this team because he knew what was going on. We thank David Ferronis. We thank Chris Perkins. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley. We thank all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button before you go. I'd appreciate that immensely. Sean Stanley would appreciate that. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rail, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Caneswear, Slomin's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!